It's 6:04. I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of February 2nd, 2023 to order. Can I have a roll call?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Rolando Cázares.
Present.
Mike Marwan.
Present.
Manuel Rangel.
Present.
Johnny Narvaez.
Present.
Yushin Wang. Regina Portillo. Daniela Sada Paz.
Present.
Ana Gabriel Villarreal. Hector Garcia. For the record, Mr. Chairman, you do have quorum.
Okay. Can I have a motion to excuse the commission members that are not here today?
Make a motion to excuse the members that are absent.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve. Carries. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our next item is consider the approval of minutes of January 5th and January 19th. Can I have a motion to approve those?
The only thing I have for the minutes is for item, give me a second.
Which one is
It
it?
was page number 3 of January 19 minutes. I know item, I guess 6A, there was also some discussion about, I guess one of the property owners was mentioning that in our bylaws, it wasn't allowed to do that type of business or for her to open a business next to an establishment. So I was hoping that would be incorporated into the minutes. And I think there was also some discussion about hours of operation that the applicant had agreed to as well. So I don't know if we can approve the first and just postpone the second set so that it can reflect that discussion.
Can you repeat that first part?
The first part was, there was some discussion of one of the property owners saying it wasn't possible for them.
Oh, that there were restrictions against
Right.
it.
The daycare owner couldn't have
Her business.
her franchise didn't permit that.
Yeah.
And Kumon is with a K. With a C.
Okay.
And that one is the one that had the restriction.
Yeah.
Kumon.
She's the one that said it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
So I'd like to make the motion to approve the first set of minutes and then postpone until those corrections for January 19th.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have any citizen comments?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to open the public hearing. We're moving on to public hearing recommendations of an ordinance. Item 6A, amending the City of Laredo subdivision ordinance, Section 2-1, to exempt tracts of land within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the City of Laredo that are used exclusively by a public utility service provider for the delivery of public utility service from the platting requirements of the subdivision ordinance of the City of Laredo, providing that this ordinance shall be cumulative, providing a severability clause, providing for publication and effective date.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Rafael Vidaurri. And this is an item that was brought before you at the last meeting. And under our subdivision ordinance, whenever certain changes are made, we have to bring it twice as a public hearing to the Planning Commission. So just a quick overview again, to give you a little bit of background. As our area, again, continues to grow tremendously, we're starting to see utility service providers coming to the city and the county in the periphery to build substations, other things like that for the delivery of public services. A little bit of a background, here's a sketch of the 5-mile ETJ. So the area that we're talking about is the area that's identified kind of like in this brownish hue color. Samples of public utility tracks. Here we have a AEP substation, and on the right we have a water tower from the Water Utilities Department. So the statutory authority to enter in, or that would give us the authority to do this is under 212. It grants the cities the authority to classify the divisions of what tracts that need to be platted. The same counterpart is in 232 of the Local Government Code for counties. And then in 242 of the Local Government Code, basically it talks about if you're a border county within the 15-mile international border zone, you technically really can't enter into agreements for the ETJ with the city, so you do have that dual jurisdiction power. Here's an excerpt from the county subdivision regulations on the plating exemption, as you can see. It talks about tracts land used exclusively for a public utility service provider. The delivery of public utility service would be exempt from the plating. Here's a sample of a county certificate of no plat required, approved by the Webb County Commissioners Court. There's also the option of doing an actual plat, and that certification is placed on the face of the plat and then recorded with the county clerk. So here is the proposed ordinance amendment, and we're just adding section F with the same language to mirror that of the county. And lastly, the certificate of no plat required. Here's the definition straight from the Laredo Land Development Code. And the proposed motion. If there's any questions anybody might have or on this item?
No.
No. So it is a public hearing. I don't know if there's any comments from the,
Okay. This is a public hearing. If there's any comments in recommendation to this subdivision ordinance, you can come forward. If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
Chairman, I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
The recommendation is to,
Approve the motion.
okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to move on to review and consideration of the following master plan. Item 7A, review and consideration of Palm Lake subdivision master plan. The intent is residential, multifamily, and institutional.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is San Isidro Southwest Engineering, engineer is Slay Engineering. The proposed use is residential, multifamily, and institutional. The zoning for the 763 lot development is R1A. This is the location view, the aerial view, and this is the proposed master plan, or the revision of the proposed master plan. This is the comments from planning, engineering, fire, traffic safety, parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chairman. My name is Ramiro Ibarra. I work for Slay Engineering, and I'm the engineer of record for this phase. I'm also representing my client, Mr. Pat Murphy from San Isidro Management. And we concur with all of the comments except for engineering comment number 1. If Rancho Viejo Drive is a collector, it should have an 80 right-of-way. I don't know if you can put the master plan again?
I can put it back.
Okay. And the reason for that is most of the traffic, as you can see, we do have Rancho Viejo, extending Rancho Viejo and it tying into future Fasken Drive.
You can come to the side.
I'm sorry?
You can come to the side if you want to.
And so most of the traffic is residential. So one of the things that we're trying to do is discourage through traffic. And we believe that having a wider right-of-way might encourage traffic to try to cut through the residential development. Another thing that we're doing also is that we're providing not only one 60 right-of-way, but an additional 60 right-of-way that tees off of Rancho Viejo Drive and it connects also to future Fasken Boulevard. So we have 260 right-of-ways that, will connect to Fasken. And both of the 60 right-of-ways don't have any lots fronting it, so it will be strictly to move traffic within the residential subdivision into those major roads. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
So we do agree, staff looked at this and we agreed with the 60.
So we're okay with the 60?
Yes.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, this item was tabled a month ago, like the 5th, I
Yes,
think,
ma'am.
right?
Yes.
And it was because we didn't have the traffic Look, let me read.
It's-
Let me read.
I think it was our concern was that the traffic was going to go to
It
Fasken.
says-
That didn't exist yet, so.
It says that the commission expressed a concern about the traffic this development will generate with limited access and road capacity in the area. Therefore, the commission finds it appropriate for a traffic impact study to be conducted before a decision can be made. Did we do this impact study?
Yes, that study has been done by the neighbor development, which is the Fasken Group. They did go through the process of asking for connections on Palm Lake Boulevard and also Fasken.
All right, where is that?
It's the middle road.
Wait,
You go over there.
So they have approved driveway connections here on Palm Lake Drive and also at the connection of Fasken Boulevard.
Okay.
And TxDOT did require them to do a TIA, and they did, and they approved both of those driveways. Or both of those connections showing our master plan with all those units of residential units.
Do we have anybody from TxDOT here?
Not with us today, no.
Ma'am, maybe
This-
I could help address your
Your name for the record?
concern.
Go and stand in the
So,
middle,
Your name for the record?
in the middle by the microphone.
so the Fasken Group, this piece of property is approximately 600 acres. It's got Mines Road on the west,
Yes.
Loop 20 on the north, and I-35 on the east. So the Fasken Group engaged a traffic engineer to do a very extensive TIA to look at access on the entire track, all the way around. So that TIA was completed and submitted to TxDOT. So the Fasken Group is working on securing not just these two access points that we're talking about that relate to our development, but everything all the way around. So these two have already been approved, the Fasken Boulevard connection as well as the Palm Lake connection. TxDOT did not have any issues with what is being developed here and the amount of traffic that it's generating and putting onto those three highways. So they have approved the connections. I don't know about the connections elsewhere. That doesn't really affect our development, but the two that access this development
Yours directly.
have been approved.
Our main concern always is for the future, right? Because we've been having these prior developments that you, like, for example, you just said, in my development, it doesn't affect, but there's other developments also. And what we've been trying to do is for them to have at least two separate in and outs for security, like for safety reasons, for effective, for the more effective mobility around the area. So that was my main concern, because if we don't have it in the master plan, you don't know if it, in the future, you're going to be able to see it, right?
The beauty part about the Mines Road access for this development is there's three access points.
Access points.
Two of those are already signalized intersections, so it's going to be a very safe in and out into this area. The one that's not already a signalized intersection is just a right in, right out. So they should all be very safe connections to Mines Road. It shouldn't cause any traffic issues.
And it's also, this one is for phase one, and then there's gonna be a phase two, and that's what our concern was at that moment. And you say that that TxDOT already has the TIA. Do you have something in writing with that?
We do. We
You
have
do?
approved
Do-
permits from TxDOT for all these
All this.
connections.
And does the planning have that or no?
I don't know if we have them in our files, but we definitely can get them so that we can have them in our records, yes. But typically, the process is they go to TxDOT first. And then they have to do it, TIA. That can take them 6 months to do a TIA. They get that done, and then after they get their approval, then they come our way and we go through the process. 6 months, maybe?
Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the permits were actually approved about 5 months ago for these two street connections. So we're gonna need to get an extension. They're good for 6 months, but TxDOT generally doesn't have a problem with that.
Okay. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Any other questions from the commission?
I know there's a future school site addressed in this master plan. Is that something that's been discussed with the district as far as that site yet, or have there been any communication with them on that one?
Had some preliminary discussions with United ISD about an elementary school site. Actually meeting with them again next week. We haven't met in 2 or 3 months. We went to them early on and asked them if they would need a school site based on the number of rooftops that are potentially going to be here. And they indicated that they would probably like to have a site here. So we're going to meet again next week, and I'm hopeful to get some better direction from them as to whether they are going to need to proceed with acquiring a site there. But because of that school, that's another reason that we wanted to do the 2 60-foot collectors and put one of those up against the school to help with traffic flow around the school.
Because that roadway would be coming in on that first phase, right?
Correct.
On that corner.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
And we're hoping to get with the school district in hopes that they could start stacking the cars in the property instead of on the street, because that really is a problem when parents are along the streetway and they don't go into the property of the school. So hopefully we can ask for some help with that so they can get traffic off the street.
Yeah, in the old days, the United ISD Elementary, the prototype was a 10-acre site, and of course, they used the city streets to stack their traffic on. But now their prototype is a 13-acre site, which is what's reflected here.
And they have an internal loop.
They're stacking their traffic internally now.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I see here also just, Rancho Verde runs on the master plan, which the city's okay with the 60 right away, but it turns into Palm Lake Drive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll just all be Palm Lake Drive or if it'll all be.
Oh, you're looking at the old, I'm sorry, but I think what happened was the old master plan was put in there.
Okay.
In your packet. The new master plan has the correction.
Okay.
They made the correction.
They were gonna show it, I think they were gonna show it.
That we did stay with the same name. It will be Rancho Viejo all the way.
All the way.
Wait,
And then we use Palm Lake as the other street that aligns itself with Big Bend on the other side, but, you know, there's no through traffic through there. It's just
Okay.
right off.
And now, any idea when Fasken Boulevard may be built? Because, well, the master plan that I see here has that one connection to it from, I guess, there's not a name on this street, but going north-south, I think, right, or east-west. Yeah.
As part of our agreement with we bought this property from the Fasken Group, and as part of our agreement with the Fasken Group, they've agreed to build the westernmost segment of Fasken from Mines Road to our collector street.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So that First Street, that western segment would be.
the one on the top?
I think it's shown on their phase
Yeah.
1 that they are working on plans right now for.
Once they start that corner of Mines Road and Fasken, I guess they would just continue the roadway.
Continue.
I'm not sure about the timeline for the remainder of Faskin, but I know that that first western segment is pretty quickly.
And Faskin would have a in and out to 35 eventually?
Eventually, that is the plan, yes, sir.
That is the plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions or other wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to comments and changing, right? The 80 row to 60 row?
I think, 8,
The 80 to a 60 right
An
away.
80 to a 60 right away.
yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. We're moving on to consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 8A, preliminary consideration of the plat upon, preliminary consideration of the plat of Palm Lake subdivision Phase 1. The intent is residential.
Yes, for the record, the applicant is San Isidro Southwest Engineer Slay Engineering Company. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 172 lot development is R1A. Location view, aerial view, street view, the preliminary plat for Phase 1. Staff comments planning, engineering and traffic safety, Parks and Leisure, and the proposed motion.
Again, my name is Ramiro Ibarra from Slay Engineering. I'm here representing my client, San Isidro Management, and we concur with all the comments except for the same comment from the master plan, which is engineering comment number 1. If Rancho Viejo Drive is a collector, it should be 80 right away.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I do have some questions though, like for this first phase. I know we've got, within this Phase 1 has Palm Lake Drive,
That's right.
here, right, coming into this development, and currently, a portion of Rancho Viejo Drive is there already, right? So this would be the point of the entrance and the egress and the exit here. As far as on Palm Lake Drive, on the northern end of it, I don't see it connecting to Mines Road, but I'm assuming the adjacent property owner will be doing that connection before this phase is fully developed, this first phase?
I believe so. The other developer, the Faskin Group, already submitted their master plan and I believe also their preliminary plat before we did. And they do have that segment of the road connecting all the way to Mines Road, Palm Lake.
So like that, when this development's finished, they'll have 2 points of access
Yes.
to get in and out of this neighborhood, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That was the main concern from the first part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just hope that the city makes sure that ends up happening, so like that, they're not stuck with one exit out for this whole development.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the engineer?
So the item that they would like to strike is engineering's comment number 1.
Okay.
What are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to comment, scratching out or taking out the 80 right away to 60, right? Right away.
Second.
Engineering comment number 1.
We have a second by Commissioner Ibarra.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8B, preliminary consideration of the plat of Heights LISD Annex subdivision. The intent is institutional.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Laredo Independent School District. Engineer is Gilbert J. Guerra from Rio Delta Engineering. The proposed use is institutional. The zoning for this one lot development is R2 and O1, R0, sorry. The location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed replat, staff comments planning, Proposed motion.
Thank you. Who's here to present?
Good evening, Councilman. My name is Norberto Lopez, and I'm here as a representative of LISD. This is a replat of existing lots. It's only 3 properties, which consist of 4 lots and a already subdivided property. And we're just gonna subdivide the property, right? There's not gonna be any construction done at this point.
Currently, there's properties fronting Market, is that correct? And that's what you're incorporating in, and the back portion is a
Yeah,
parking lot?
It's lot 12 and 11 and lot 5 and 6 on Rosario Street.
Okay, so there's no extension of the parking, it's just making it all one?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Right now, we're just making it one.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to comments?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8C, preliminary consideration of the replat of lots 52, 53, 54, and 55, Block 1, North Creek subdivision into lots 52A and 55A, Block 1, North Creek subdivision. The intent is commercial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Aesthetics Studios. Engineer is Ricardo Ramos from Do Right Engineering. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this 2-lot development is B1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed replat. Staff comments planning. Proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Ricardo Ramos, and I'm the engineer record for this replat. We pretty much agree with the comments, except for comment number 2. We're requesting that it be instead of a dedicated right-of-way, if we can do a right-of-way reserve.
So what the request that's happening here is if the city has a street or the developer is developing next to the street and the city needs some space, the developer would dedicate that space, right, or that amount of square footage. If the city wants something like this, but they don't have the funds and we don't see it happening for years, then they can establish a reserve. And the reserve is there for the city to come later and do whatever project they're gonna do, but it doesn't hold the developer from having to give up that space. They can use it for parking, landscaping, different things like that. But it's, in my opinion, it's kind of difficult to ask for a dedication if we don't have the funds, we don't know where it's coming from, and this might be something down the road and hold them from using that space for whatever they'd like to use it for. So, we're asking that the developer, if they can set this as a reserve, so that in the future, he won't be able to build on it, and if he does build on it, we can take it away, but we'll have that reserve for the future and whatever the city wants to do with that property.
Or are we talking about like in front of Hillside Road, like in case they ever widen Hillside or something? That
Exactly.
don't have the enough right of way to make it wide?
And I think you'll see there's some obstacles for them to do that, so it's kind of really difficult to say dedicate, and so we're asking for reserve on this.
And the applicant was okay with it?
With the reserve, yes.
Now, does this include the commercial building within, I guess, lot, I'm sorry, but it's real small. Lot 42A or 52?
Yes, the white building, that's where you have the arrow?
Yes.
Yes, that
So
includes
it's-
the building.
It's that building and then the property next to it.
Yeah,
that will be now 2 lots, and currently it's as 4
It's 4, yes, we're trying to divide it into 2.
into 2. Okay.
And where would the
Dedication?
dedication be?
It'll be in the frontage.
Where the green area is or what?
Amongst these ones, yeah.
It'll be right here, the frontage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that will be on the plat as a reserve for the future.
It'll be, we're requesting a reserve, not a dedication.
Now, Orly, now that they're coming into replat, do they still need to meet the dimensional standards, like from your front yard and the back and the sides and all that, as far as the current building?
Yes.
Or any other structure out there?
Right.
But is there something already built there from the
That's
other
where the-
side?
that's
It's
the
like a little,
Zorba, that's where Zorba used to
I,
stay.
okay, but on this side,
East
what
side.
we're seeing here?
And where
The
the dirt,
dedication or the reserve is gonna take a part of that?
that's a parking lot.
Ah, okay. Es que se
It
ve
looks like a
como-
building, but
It
it's
looks
not.
like a building, that's why I'm
Right.
like, ¿cómo van a hacer un reserve ahí?
A personal touch or something, right? Personal touch is that front building, that front occupant. I drive by there,
Yes.
yeah.
Ah, ya.
Concrete.
Ya me ubiqué,
Yeah.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
There's no other questions, what are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to changing comment number 2 from dedicated to reserve, all necessary right away.
Second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8D, preliminary consideration of the Jesus Edmundo Garcia plat. The intent is residential.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Jesus Edmundo Garcia Ibarra. Engineer is Ricardo Ramos from Do Right Engineering. The proposed use is residential. The zoning for this one-lot development is R1. Location view, aerial view, street view, the plat, staff comments, planning, and parks and leisure. Proposed motion.
Thank you. We have some coming up.
Good evening, Ricardo Ramos with Dura Engineering. We agree with the comments provided. I just wanted to make a note on the description where we have the 34,156 square feet. And in parentheses, it should be 0.784 acres.
Where?
174.
On the parentheses,
They changed.
just a little typo. When my client read,
784 acre.
Okay.
yeah, it's 0.784 acres. But everything else, we agree with.
Thank you. Any questions?
Motion to approve, subject to comments.
Uy, ¿quién será que? Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8E, preliminary consideration of the Lasco plat as Cielito Lindo subdivision. The intent is commercial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Celito Lindo. Engineer is Holland Engineering and Surveying Company. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this one-lot development is R1A. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, staff comments planning, traffic safety, the proposed motion.
Thank you. Coming up.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Miguel Jimenez with Howden Engineering, representing our client. We reviewed the comments. I want to discuss comment from planning, comment number 2. It says in regards to the easement that we have proposed. So if I can show you this. Let me see here. Okay. This is not the original plat, right, but it still shows the easement. We have this is our primary access, right, that we're gonna use. It's gonna be a commercial, it's gonna be a gas station, that's what's proposed. And this is its primary access. Now, we are proposing this off-site easement, right, to be able to provide an access here so that people coming out of Cielito Lindo, right, using this gas station can head back out there and turn left, right, instead of having to come back through to the Cuatro Vientos, doing turnarounds and all that to get back inside. The comment does ask for increasing this easement to a 50-foot easement. We have a 36-foot wide easement, right? And they're asking for a 30-foot pavement section. Our intent is this being a temporary access while this area, right, develops and someone else, and another business comes in and develops this. And at that point, this will be paved and that road would be, removed and replaced with their, concrete pavement, whatever, pavement section they choose. And then it'll have a nice internal circulation. We prefer to leave this as a 36-inch wide easement, have a temporary road, and also addressing planning's concern or comment that, if it's going to be a primary access to upgrade it to a 50-foot. But again, our primary access would be off of Cielito Lindo right here. This would just be a secondary means of egress, ingress.
I'm sorry, so the first access easement is the one that's kind of in that box there. That's your first access easement, your primary.
Primary, correct.
And then the only reason for the 36-foot access easement is to get traffic to be able to get back on Cielito Lindo.
Correct.
So the only people that'd be using this would be those going into the store, right?
That's correct.
That's the only traffic that'd be utilizing this.
Yes, sir.
Does it meet the distance needed, like as far as the traffic, take a look as far as for the second access easement on the 36-foot wide?
Over here?
From the, right.
Right, so
Does
that's.
that meet all the requirements needed as far as from traffic because of the?
Right, that's the second comment I want to discuss. I wanted to bring up traffic's comment, and it reads that so originally, if we can pull up the plat, I don't know if I have the original plat. Can we pull up the plat that's submitted in this, as part of the packet? Yeah. Okay, so this one, this is what was submitted. As you can see, the access, if I can come over here, was closer to this, was closer to Cuatro Vientos. So what we did is, traffic's comment is they wanted to make the secondary access, the one you're referring to, sir, is they wanted to make it a right in, right out only. So what we did is we shifted that driveway. We extended an additional 300 feet to the west to address that concern that they wanted a right in, right out, because they were concerned of people coming in from the north, right, on Cuatro Vientos, turning and then turning left right away.
Right.
So what we did is we extended that 300 feet, allowing to achieve more queuing space, right, to be able to allow left in. We want left in, right? The business, the developer, the investor wants to allow the left in traffic and left out. So that's one of the reasons if we can put this projector.
So would that median be extended so to prevent that from happening? If you put in that 36 wide?
To prevent what from happening?
In the future do it, if they
That would really help from people still trying to do that.
Trying to do
Like, in other words, extending the median more in order for them to, to make sure they use your secondary point of access. Those coming in from the loop, making a right to go towards, right, instead of having to take another left there to get into your first access easement.
Right.
It would force them to have to go all the way to that second.
Of course, yeah, no, we're in agreement of making, modifications or accepting those to be able to, yes, have them utilize this secondary access.
Right.
So are you proposing that access that's coming across, it'll be a shared access with the neighbor, but for right now, with the gas station going in, what's gonna be the finish of that access easement? What's the finish?
So what we foresee, what we visualize is having a nice, permanent driveway approach, right, off of Cielito Lindo. And then that access easement, we foresee an asphalt pavement section, just maybe no curb, right? It would be asphalt. Maybe what we see, I like to reference a lot, the temporary road that we have in front of Specs and Academy. We have like a temporary road, and it's exactly the same thing. It's close to the Loop 20, international intersection. And what happens is that allows to control the accesses, right? We don't want a lot of driveways for every businesses. They get to share that. And once these businesses come in, they start filling in that that gap, right? So right now, we're having a gas station. Right now, we're gonna revise the master plan to start master planning the rest of the property. And as another business comes in, right, that's gonna be their parking lot. They come in with a concrete road and they start replacing that temporary road.
Now, is traffic here and why they wanted a 50-foot? Why? Do we know why they were requesting that? Right, is that what you mentioned, that was their original request?
That's planning's comment.
Oh, planning's comments.
Yes.
Do we know why? Or what, why not?
I mean, this is a
That's
preliminary
what the
plat.
ordinance requires.
Yeah, we're going by the ordinance and what the ordinance requires. I mean, I understand what the engineer is trying to do. That's what we're talking about here, see, is,
I know this could probably be discussed in the one-stop shop. Is there a way to possibly maybe change some of the wording to where it still leaves you all the ability to come to some sort of agreement without striking a comment or taking out a comment?
it is preliminary.
And if I may, I mean, I know he's identifying on his sketch as the primary access within the lot one, block one. The issue that we foresee is because you are getting all the traffic, it appears that you'd be getting the majority of the traffic from your offsite easement, so we call that as the primary access.
I mean, yes,
Because you're not accessing it from the other side.
well, to address that, the comment, I mean, how we're trying to address it is, that basically the owner says, if it is your primary means of access, it requires a 50-foot easement and a 30-foot pavement section. So, I personally wouldn't go in the first entrance. If I'm going to the store, I'd kind of stay on Cielito Lindo
Yes.
and go, right on the store. So I'd only use that getting out.
If you're coming.
If I want to leave the store and go back to my house. And like I said, once this, the master plan, these people come in, what we're also, and what I also wanted to show is, we wanted to line up the secondary access. We had it closer to the intersection like we had it, but we want to put in this road, which I think is very important. It's going to be a 60-foot road, but we want to show it in our master plan. And that road is gonna allow for a really nice circulation between here. So we foresee this road, this intersection, this road as a very integral part of the master plan. And we feel that's gonna be, permanent, and we wanna align it and establish that entrance now. And just, like I said, as the new businesses come in, I mean, that temporary road is not gonna be there, and it's gonna get used less and less for the gas station unless they're leaving. We foresee this developing pretty quick, so I don't foresee that being there long term. That temporary road.
So right now, if he came in just with lot one, block one, without the 36-foot wide access easement, he'd still be in compliance to come in and apply for this plat.
That's correct.
Yeah, if he was to eliminate it.
Yeah,
then
it still
he'd
wouldn't
be
affect
fine.
it. He's just doing this
He'd be fine.
to help.
Correct, yeah.
That master plan that you showed with that road, was that shown to traffic? Or not yet?
Which one, this one?
Yes. That one, yes.
No, not yet. We're updating the master plan. This is just an exhibit. We didn't have enough time to correct the master plan, but yes, we're gonna meet with them and show this to them.
I'd like to see if we could table this item so that we can really look at this. Because if that's the issue, it's a temporary, I'd like for traffic to see the master plan. Just so he could determine what's gonna happen here, because we haven't seen that. At least I didn't see it. You see it.
I mean, I would like, in that case, can we submit the master plan and review it at that time? We'll submit the master plan at the next meeting, and I would just really like to separate these two projects and keep this one going, just to keep up with the timeline of the developer and the investor, and not kind of delay that.
Or eliminate the easement. Sorry.
So it can keep going.
Yeah.
That way, if you eliminate the easement right now, you can get going, and then we can always discuss it. And it won't stop you.
I mean, it's just that the easement, it's really important for the business coming in to be able to have their customers be able to head back out in Cielito Lindo instead of having come out, having a turnaround, then they have to go up north like about 2 miles, do another turnaround, come back in, and head back into Cielito Lindo.
Aparte dice,
That's really.
aparte dice.
Is that, was that the only comment you had as far as planning's comments, as far as?
It also says that it has to have a zone change, is required.
Right,
The
we agree with
intended
all the
use.
other
Okay with that?
comments. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
All right.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve, subject to changing it from 50 foot to 36, the way it is. To, in other words, the lot building shall be 36 foot wide with a 30 foot pavement section, right, the easement, which is how it is now, right?
Yes, the easement is 36 feet wide.
Right.
I'm not sure, I think we would like to maybe decrease the pavement width from 30 feet as well. Maybe to keep it just enough for 2 lanes, it's 30. We would like maybe, 20, 25, 22, have 11-foot lanes, just since it's temporary. That's kind of what we see working at the, just to make it feasible, right, for the developers, especially if it's temporary.
So 36 foot wide with a 28 pavement section.
With a,
30.
Runs 25.
no, with a 20,
Okay.
22 to 25 foot pavement section.
Ay, chile. Ya cambiaste.
I would, my motion is 36 with a 30 pavement section. That's my motion.
Just to keep in mind,
I,
at any time, traffic could extend that median there
Yeah, correct. I mean,
and close that off from a left turn or whatever, just.
yes, correct. That'd be up to us. We're gonna meet with them and coordinate that with them, but we're aware of that. Okay, so no, please.
So we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Caceres. All in favor?
All right.
Can I see it? I didn't get it sure of it. Can you see it? Raise your hands for ayes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I also had a comment. I don't know if it's a different motion that needs to be made, but I also had a comment on traffic's. I also wanted to discuss one of traffic's comments.
Are you sure about them? Do you wish to?
I'd like to take the motion on this and then we'll take another one and see.
Okay. Okay. So can I see that again? How many ayes? 1, 2. Nays? Are you an aye or a nay? I'm
no.
sorry.
Pues es que no sé. Está muy confundido. Es que primero dice, o sea, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Primero dice que prefiere separar los dos proyectos. Y ahorita vamos a meter, el motion que tú metiste está todo junto. Que porque quiere dividir los dos proyectos y hacer la orilla primero y luego ya después lo otro. Luego, si hacemos lo que estás diciendo tú, se va a quedar todo junto y a lo mejor le va a afectar, ¿verdad? En un futuro.
Lo que quería separar es el master plan, el comentario, porque Mr. Navarro estaba pidiendo que si podíamos posponer, ¿verdad?, el proyecto para que metiera una revisión del master plan. Ahora, yo quería separar meter ese master plan con este proyecto solamente. Es el mismo proyecto, pero son dos diferentes submittals, por decir. Yo lo único que estoy pidiendo es remover el requisito de los 50 pies que nos está pidiendo planning a los 36 que estamos enseñando, porque va a ser una calle temporal nada más por acceso. Ya cuando vengan, ¿verdad?, los otros negocios van a rellenar esa parte.
Y no me queda muy claro que de todas maneras pueden venir a decir, necesito esto y no vas a hacer lo que tú quieres, ¿verdad? ¿Estamos en lo correcto?
Yes.
¿Sí?
Yes.
Ok, entonces, si se hace el cambio o no se hace cambio en el master plan, no importa, porque pueden venir a decir, ¿sabes qué? No se va a hacer así y lo vamos a cambiar.
Well, not necessarily. He's gonna have to bring it in for approval. The thing is that we hadn't seen that bigger picture.
Okay.
So, it would be nice to look at that to determine how it would work with this.
Sí,
And since we didn't have that, we're seeing that for the first time.
Eso es lo que quería aclarar,
Right.
porque cuando lo que estoy viendo aquí y con lo que tienen allá es diferente. ¿Ok? Entonces, para mí, yo hubiera estado de acuerdo, ¿verdad? En que si vas a arreglar el master plan, primero mete el master plan bien, divide lo que tengas que dividir y hacer, y luego ya lo ves, porque se ve más simple, claro y mejor. Pero si no afecta, y ya estamos viendo aquí que ustedes es la primera vez que lo ven, por eso traen la duda, ¿verdad? Pero todavía tienen que aprobarlo. ¿Estamos de acuerdo? ¿O no?
No, we.
Si lo aprobamos
I said
nosotros,
we can table it and
eso es
then
lo
bring
que
it back
quiero yo.
so we can see his work.
Es correcto.
But he does have the option to want you guys to go forward with this item.
Okay.
Or you have the option to go forward with this
Go
item or
forward.
to table it. It's your call.
No, pues entonces soy un ney.
Digo, señora Paz, si podría,
Is there discussion, or is, I mean, we're no vote, so I don't know.
Es que pues si son dos a favor y dos no, ¿tú qué es lo que quieres? Y tú eres el que parte aquí.
So right now the vote is 2-2?
2-2.
So you're the deciding.
Ahora,
so what I foresee, Mr. Narvaez, what I foresee, if I submit the master plan, pretty much the comment would be, you know, we're not in agreement with this road. And that's maybe something for discussion when I submit the master plan, right? And, right, with this whole road. But as far as the driveway goes, if you guys approve the preliminary plat, you'd pretty much just be approving the off-site easement and that driveway. Per se, let's say we go to the master plan, they have an issue with this road, maybe we have to change it or you know, or redesign it. We're still gonna need access for this property here, you know? Even if this road doesn't keep going, traffic is gonna should give us an access there. So even if the road changes, that driveway for that road that Mr. Navarro and you, Ms. Paz, wanna see the master plan for, that driveway can still stay there for the other businesses, and we can revise our master plan and keep that driveway, just that intersection. You get me?
Yeah.
So, that's why I would ask the commissioner if we can please, consider, you guys giving us our approval just for this easement and have that, allow the customers of this business to be able to turn around and head back into Cielito Lindo. And then we address the master plan, we submit it, we talk about the road, but as far as a driveway, I mean, there's gonna be, if that doesn't go through, there's gonna be other businesses here that our developer's gonna develop, right? And we're gonna need access to those. So, that, I don't think the driveway there, I think we can say that driveway can be there, and if we have to make modifications to the road, we will.
Staff, I need, for staff, how do you feel about 36?
You know, because right now it looks like that's gonna be the main entrance. We would suggest a 50. I see that he wants to do some shared access, and we would like to see shared access. We don't need a bunch of driveways all over the place, so we want to do that. But once again, you know, when you're just looking at a snippet of the bigger picture, it's kind of a little bit difficult.
you can affect.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with what he's saying. I'm just, you know, I'd like to look at it and make sure that, you know, because we might want to put on the plat that it's shared access across 36, all the way across, shared access, and that way, any new business that comes in understands that they're all gonna share that access point. We don't really have that right now. We're not asking for that right now, so, you know, I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of the design, you know, we should make sure that we put a note on there that says shared access between all those lots, and then put the point of where the access is gonna be, so that traffic's okay with it, and we don't have an issue with left turns, and then they block you guys, and then, because that's typically what happens.
That's what's gonna
You know,
happen.
if there's problems.
Right, and as we come in and plat this section, if we can, as we come and plat this section, just like we're putting an access easement here, right? Us putting an access easement, they can't, it's unbuildable, and they have to respect that, they have to allow access. We'll do the same thing, when this plat comes in, that easement stays recorded in that plat. So once we have all these plats, right, from this, and if this road comes in, all these plats are gonna have that access easement. So they're gonna have to respect that to allow traffic, internal traffic through there. Like I said, I don't know if any of you guys have experience using that road between Academy, Specs. It works perfectly fine, going both ways. And it allows you, you know, it allows you to make those turns, get back into San Isidro, so it works. And that pavement section, I think it's only 22 feet wide. I measured 20, but I can see 11-foot lanes, so that might be 22, and it works.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and as much as I want to give you a yes, I have to go with staff, unless you want to table this, but there's just so much uncertainty, and I know you're saying, well, what happens there is going to happen here, but then there's a lot of different factors that are going to come in place, so I have to give it a no.
Okay. And that's for allowing the easement to stay at 36.
Well, as far as the vote, because there was a motion, so there was 2 yeses, 2
And
noes.
2 noes.
And of course, I'm the deciding factor, and I have to go with staff, and if staff's not certain, there's things I need to look at, then I have to go with staff in that sense.
And if you make it time certain, we'll bring it back to the next meeting. We'll try to hustle through this and.
That's what I was gonna say, because if there was a motion and we deny it, well, can we make something so he could come back with a master plan and everything?
Well, if they're ready, I don't know if he's ready for that, but he has the ability, if he wants to bring a master plan, he could if he wanted to. But I think he's just doing this lot. We just need to talk a little bit about this. But if there's a motion made to table it, we'd like it to be time certain so that we can bring it the next meeting and try to, not to burden them as much, you know,
Yeah.
we just need some information.
Make it faster.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to table this item, time certain to the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to item 8F, preliminary consideration of the plat of SKG Columbia Industrial Park North. The intent is industrial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is SKG Colombia. Engineer is Oscar Castillo from Pegua Consulting. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 8-lot development is AG, and the portion is located in the ETJ. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, staff comments, planning, fire and water utilities, proposed motion.
No leí.
Evening, staff, commissioners, chairman. I'm Oscar Castillo, representing SKG Colombia, and we concur with the comments, and I'm here to answer any comments.
Motion to approve, subject to comments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 8G, preliminary consideration of the plat of SKG Columbia Industrial Park South. The intent is industrial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the same is SKG Columbia South. Engineer Oscar Castillo from Pegua Consulting. Proposed use industrial. The zoning for this 9-lot development is AG M1, and the portion is located in the ETJ. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, staff comments, planning, fire and water utilities, proposed motion.
Thank you.
Oscar Castillo, for the record, Pegua Consulting, representing SKG Colombia South. We concur with the comments.
Thank you.
Motion to approve? Subject to comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to
Estoy leyendo todo.
reconsideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 9A, preliminary consideration of the plat of Harmony Hill subdivision Phase 2 at Rodriguez Ranch. The intent is residential. The purpose of the reconsideration is to reduce the number of lots.
Yes, sir. The applicant is Rodriguez Sortuche Development. Engineer is Howland Engineering and Surveying. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 181-lot development is R1A. Location view, aerial view. The proposed reconsideration plat. Staff comments, planning, fire, traffic safety, and Parks and Leisure. Proposed motion.
Good evening, once again, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Miguel Jimenez with Howling Engineering. We agree with all the comments except comment number 1 from planning.
Es lo que estaba viendo.
We did have time to discuss with planning on this one. It's in regards to the connection to Juan Escutia. Previously, as we're revising the number of lots, we're reducing the size of this phase. And just because of this reduction, we're offsetting that connection. We talked to planning, their concern was fire. We did talk to fire. Fire checked in on it, they checked with their marshal, they're okay with it as long as we're showing it in the master plan. And that's what I want you guys to consider. We can strike that one off. It seems like planning's on board.
I think there's 136 lots, whether it's 50 or 20, I think it's always a good idea to have 2 points of access. Currently, I think it would just be, that 1 point to Saman Bolivar?
Yes.
And we were looking at possibly getting another point further north?
And that one's coming, yes. They split it in half. This is, I guess, more for the developer and the bank. They reduced the lots that they could develop. At least that's the note that I'm getting from the engineer. So we double checked their traffic impact analysis. It seems to, yes, it does support them.
Is there a report for that?
Yes.
Can we get a copy of it before we make a decision on this? Traffic impact analysis of
Yes.
how much traffic is going to be on these streets based on this development, what's going to happen? Because I wasn't in my packet.
It wasn't either.
Correct. So our plan is to build this connection in the next phase, which is phase 3. And as per that TIA report, when we do that phase up here, that's when that connection would be required. So that's what the report, the results of the report came back as. So we're in line with the TIA. We did approach fire for the safety concern planning. They're okay with it. And like Mr. Navarro said, it was, we would like to have it, the developer would like to have it, we all want it in this phase. Unfortunately, we had to reduce the size of lots because of just financial reasons. It wasn't feasible to the bank. So we're coming in right after with this connection at the next phase.
Can staff put up so the rest of the commission, I don't know if you all are familiar with
Yes.
what area we're talking about or what points of access we're looking at here for the north side, but
So on the left, we have the currently approved Phase 2. This came to the commission, it was approved by the commission back last year.
it's kind of small.
Wait. Let me put the B.
Put the B. Well, not bad, girl.
Put the B. Ahí va. On the left-hand side,
Left is the currently approved,
okay?
and on the right is the one that they're coming in for the reconsideration.
La orilla de acá.
And as you can see on the left, they have more lots than on the one on the right, they've removed the lots. But by the same token, they've removed, let me zoom in now,
Ah, lo que te iba a decir.
this connection.
Which one?
So that was the original plat that came forward before
Right, that's the currently approved.
with Quarter Notes Drive connecting to,
Juan Escutia.
Beetle Road to Beetle Road.
so how did it reduce number of lots? By how many from this original plat to
I
the?
think it was 180, no?
Yeah, we went from 220, 225 to 180.
40 lots, 40 homes. And what about, can you put up an aerial of the areas so you can see what this phase of traffic would be going into? That's my only concern is having 1 point of access for 100 and, what do we say, 84?
84.
Yeah, it's not.
Plus the 136. 300.
The thing is that we need to be consistent, right? And we have this issue always with all the new developments. And I know right now it's not because you don't want to, right?
Exactly.
So this is Juan Escutia on the north.
Okay.
And then this is Simon Bolivar on the south.
Yeah.
And
That would be.
So right now, it would only be the bottom one if we were to,
Correct.
and we wouldn't be able to have that access on the top too.
Where does it, can you move it up a little bit?
Sure. Whoops, let's see.
where are you gonna, those developments, así?
Just so you can show where the road is going.
Okay.
Juan Escutia.
So Juan Escutia is right here, and then it.
I'm sorry, the other one.
Simon Bolivar is
Simon
right here,
Bolivar.
Yes.
and it continues this way.
Right, so if they come out there, where do they go?
Oh,
They come out, they get on the asphalt, they're gonna come out,
pase por allá.
so I guess go down is.
Yeah, they'll come out this way or back to International. I think it's Bucky Woodman.
How can we assure that they're gonna make the second access
It has to come in with more lots.
with more lots?
Yeah, they have to put it right here.
And Ms.
And are we in compliance, for example, with the decrease of,
Well, I don't know if it's
Of the lots?
if you consider it a compliance thing, but we did check, we wanted to check with the TIA.
Okay.
See what that said, and then we wanted to check with fire, just so that we could bring that to your attention that we checked.
okay?
You know, we understand what you're saying about the two entranceways, and that obviously is what we shoot for just about every time.
Yeah.
But in this case, there was an issue, so we just wanted to cover our bases, check to see if it does qualify for it. Qualify in the sense that they have an analysis that tells them that, yes, they can do that. You know, the exit, the traffic splits, some of it comes out to the loop, some of it goes to International.
Okay.
So you have that split there, and I believe that's what you'll see in the analysis, that there is a split of that traffic, how it would come in to the property, how it would go out, that they have, they could option to go to International, or they can option to go to Loop 20 on that one. That, we don't have traffic here to talk some more about this.
We should
Apologize.
enforce.
Or I recommend we postpone till traffic and we have a good study on
Should
this.
enforce
Because all
someone.
these rooftops going here would be,
Here, yeah.
I don't know.
Pobre hombre.
I make a motion to postpone the item. We discussed this with traffic as far as,
A second.
to at least look at the plan, the traffic plan.
I'll second that
Time
motion.
certain?
Time certain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ay.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're moving to consideration of the following final plats and final replats. Can I have a motion to hear items 10A, B, C, D, and E
Motion
altogether?
to hear 10A, B, C, and
Second.
until C, D, and E altogether?
Second from Commissioner Rangel. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And can I hear a motion for action on those items for approval?
Motion, action for those,
Yes?
yes?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So that,
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
motion to approve 10A, B, C, D, E?
Correct.
That's the
Correct.
motion, okay.
Yes. We're going on to consideration of an extension of the following plat and final replats. Consideration of extension of the final plat approval for the replat of Lot 41, Block 1, and drainage easement, Lot 56, Block 1, Las subdivision, Unit 8, into lots 41A, 56A, 56B, Block 1, Las Misiones subdivision, Unit 8. The intent is this dedication of the street of right of way.
Yeah?
Approval, right?
Yeah, you can approve, yeah, you can approve. it.
Motion to,
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Just to let you know that there is, plats have a life, and then they're given one extension of 6 months, and that's what's going on here. They haven't,
that's what I was gonna ask, why an extension?
it's just been 18 months, and they haven't
Okay.
done anything, but they want an extension. I guess they're holding off to do something, I don't know. But they get a chance to do it.
There's someone that wants to speak. That's it.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Edward Garza with Crane Engineering. We were the engineers on this right-of-way dedication plat. All the work has been completed. The street is open to the public. The issue is that it's taken a long time to get the final acceptance from the city. We've been on the process on that for over a year. And so this was not a development that had any lots. It was an extension of a public street and a water line to improve water circulation between two developments. And it was paid for by the developer of Southern Development. And so this extension is needed because we are ready to record the plat, but we feel that, and it was recommended by staff, that it would be best in our interest to get an extension.
Okay.
So there's no issues into recording the plat.
Okay.
And so the plat will be submitted to the city officially in the next 2 to 4 weeks, because we're ready to record it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's also an addendum, item 12A, consideration of an extension to the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Consideration of an extension to the preliminary plat approval of La Quinta Edition, replat of block 934, 941-A, and lots 5, 6, 7, and 8, block 941, Western Division. The intent is commercial.
This is the La Quinta edition, but it's really the Denny's. They're looking to come in to remodel, and so they just need an extension also.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any comments from?
A ver,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
11A
Yes.
was approved, correct?
Yes.
yes.
Just- Yes.
Just
Yes, approve and motion was,
before we adjourn, I just want to let you know our next meeting, because it falls during the parade and all that, we moved the meeting to the Laredo Public Library, the main library, at 6 o'clock. So we'll be having our meeting over there at the next.
Has that been posted already?
It has not been posted yet, but it will be posted. But we already
Can we
said.
do like noon and stuff?
Is it the 16th or the 15th? Is it on Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Thursday. No.
We can't do 12 noon because apparently there's, tax, they're doing taxes there for people.
Oh, the
They
VITA
use that
program,
room.
the VITA
Yes.
program.
So they're doing that, but they end early so we can have an evening meeting, so, yeah.
So it's Wednesday, the 15th.
Yes, that's correct. 6 o'clock.
I also have an, ¿cómo se dice? Observation.
Yes, ma'am?
In the planning and zoning, in the
Website?
website, no han actualizado a Rowley, a todos los nuevos. Tienen los anteriores.
Okay. That'll be.
Cuando te vas a planning and zoning, ahí vienen todos y no está Rowley, no está Portillo.
We'll add that.
Hace tu check.
Mike, as long as Mike is there, we're good.
No other comments from staff or from Dr.
Just that.
And motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.